Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Boy, what would an engine be without any motor oil? A big molten mess of metal, that's what it would be. So this segment's all about motor oil. Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, and this is the Master Technician Tech Tip. What is motor oil? Why do we have it, and what does it do? Well, a couple of things. First of all, it cleans the engine. It also cools the engine, but most important, it lubricates the engine. And you can see our engine right here is functioning. Man, everything, the connecting rod bearings, the main bearings, all the way up through oil galleries. We're gonna do all the different ports, the camshafts, the lobes, the lifters are all dependent on motor oil. Without it, boy, we are in trouble. So let's take a look at some motor oil. First of all, I said it lubricates. All those parts have to go and they can't rub together. I got two steel plates here, and when I rub it together, oh, you can hear that. So I'll take a little motor oil and I'll put it on there. It actually creates a little layer. Metal's not gonna rub together. The oil is gonna create that barrier. And when it creates that barrier, you can see, the noise is gone. So I'm running on that oil. Now talk a little bit about oil. There's API ratings and there's viscosity. Let's do viscosity first. Viscosity, think about thickness of fluid. If I took some fluid and I basically flicked it over there on the wall, if it had a low viscosity, it would run down the wall really fast. If it had a high viscosity, it would take a little longer to get down that wall. Actually, I have some 020 weight over here. This is the 0W20. And over here, I actually have the 20W50 weight oil in a vial. So if I take this oil and I drop this ball in here, it only makes sense that the thinner oil, the lower viscosity, the ball will run down faster than the other one. Let's see what happens. Pop it in there. Oh yeah, you can see that. The 020, it's heading down. Look at that 50 weight oil, barely even moving. That's pretty cool. And you know, if you're old school like Dave and I, man, car starts knocking, what do? You go get some 50 weight and pour it in there. You don't want to do that anymore. These cars are dependent on the right motor oil. So look at your manufacturer specification and add the right motor oil. What happens if you don't? Well, I'll give you some examples right here. Last year, we took off a PTU, a power transfer unit, on a cop car here at Tech Garage. Boy, and when we opened that thing up, it did PTU, P-U'd. Ooh, it was terrible. And actually, I'm not even gonna touch this goopity goop, man. That's a mess. That's what come out of it right there. Think about that, running around in your engine. Nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna lubricate anything. So what goes on? Well, I told you about those bearings. There's a good bearing, and there's one that was actually wiped out. Look at the sides of those. Totally gone, wiped out. No oil, no bearings, metal through the whole engine. Now the new engines, you have to use the proper motor oil. Why is that? Well, you have different tensioners here. These are all oil-driven tensioners. Tensioners for the belt or the timing chain. Either way, they're gonna go ahead and use oil pressure to get the job done. If they don't, you have a problem. Also, variable valve timing, these tiny little screens right here. All the oil has to pass through there in order to operate the variable valve timing. Can't get through there, wrong weight oil, issues. Now we all know about the LS blocks here with the 5.3, the 6.0s. These are the displacement on demands. Boy, this uses oil pressure down in the lifters, cancels the lifters. What a mess we're running into. Make sure you use the right oil every single time and you're not gonna have a problem. Matter of fact, choosing oil, that can be pretty daunting. It doesn't have to be. Check them out on RockAuto.com.
Well, that's right, John. At RockAuto.com, you folks make it easy to figure out what oil I need for my vehicle. How do you do that?
We have it listed by application, so the specific oil that's recommended by the engine manufacturer and the oil manufacturer is listed under your vehicle. And it's, as John mentioned, it's super important now with gasoline direct injection, with oil running all these little, almost like hydraulic parts to get don't just put 10W30 and get the oil that's made for your car. And there's new specifications that are out for like gasoline direct injection. I think it's SP classification now. It's specifically designed to prevent knock and problems that gasoline direct injection engines have.
And this has happened to me, Tom, where I go to change my oil and I have a selection and I can't remember what I put in it before. How does Rock Auto make that easier for me?
You can create an account. They're optional, but if you create an account, you can go back and pull up your old orders and see when you last changed your oil, what brand you use.
And it's not just motor oil too, all kinds of other fluids and maintenance items on rockauto.com as well.
Yeah, all the specialized transmission fluids, power steering fluid, brake fluid, you name it.
Well, when it comes to maintenance items and fluids, rockauto.com has you covered. Also a great place to go for parts at reliably low prices.
Whew, now that the hard work's all done, actually I didn't have to do any of it, but it looks pretty good. The switch is here, and the moment of truth, wow, it's operational. Well, where'd you come from?
Good, Johnny. Came from the Rock Auto desk over there.
Wonderful. Well, Dave, I know you're not used to this riding in the back of police cars, but they do have door locks, and it should work.
Well, it's cool. And I was talking to a few of the crew guys during the break, and they were saying how something like this is super simple. This seems intimidating, but we made a fix like this can be something you can do at home thanks to rockauto.com.
Yeah, and a little luck and some strategy-based diagnosis. You don't even need a DVOM. That was pretty easy.
You got it.
Hey, you know, we're high-tech, but we'll be more high-tech next week, so make sure you join us for more Tech Garage presented by rockauto.com.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola was ranked recently as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.